I'm Eros, Local 93. You're joining me for Desire Decorum, Book 3, Chapter 16, A Joyous Union. That evening, after the wedding ceremony, you and Mr. Sinclair and all your guests make your way back to Edgewater for a reception. Briar joins you and Mr. Sinclair just outside the ballroom doors. At long last, we're married. It actually happened. My elation at the fact cannot be overstated, my dear wife. May I be the first to offer my congratulations? While I am unsure about being the first, Miss Dally, the sentiment is appreciated nevertheless. Did you not hear me? The wedding happened, and the evening is still young. We still have this wonderful reception ahead of us, and then tonight. Bent over Mr. Sinclair and smirk. He holds your gaze. He's like, yep. Briar stands behind Mr. Sinclair and speaks in a mocking voice. Oh, Mr. Sinclair, how shall I ever live without you? Briar. Come now, we all know you have your night of wedding bliss ahead of you. You laugh as you roll your eyes at her. Briar peers her head into the ballroom to check on your guest. Mr. Sinclair sweeps a loose piece of hair out of your eyes, his fingers lingering by your cheek. You look absolutely breathtaking, Bella. Your curls are nearly as elegant as you are. So you approve of the pins. He smiles at you coyly as his fingers twist around one of your dark curls. The pins, the curls, the style, I wholeheartedly approve. You are mine, now and forever. Briar nudges your arm, bringing your attention to the cracked-open ballroom door. It looks like your guests are ready for your entrance. Well, if only we have to bask in a new marital status for a bit longer. Mr. Sinclair heads snap up, a mischievous smile appearing across his face. What's stopping us? Why don't we sneak off, just for a little while? I have a few ideas as how to celebrate away from prying eyes. All I want is a kiss right now. But wouldn't people wonder where we are? Not if I can help it. I'll cover for you. Not one will ever be wiser. In fact, I insist you go. Well, you insisting changes everything. Mr. Sinclair extends his hand to you, eyes pleading. Bella, we have the chance. Why not take some time to celebrate simply as man and wife? I thought the whole idea between man and wife was literally the, wedding chambers, or bed chambers, whatever the hell you want to call them. Mr. Sinclair's outstretched hand and smile. Yes, let's postpone our introduction for just a little while. That's over. Briar nod thankfully. Thank you for covering for us, Briar. It's my pleasure. As your best friend, now go before you're caught. You and Mr. Sinclair giddily sneak out of the manor. As you move towards the gardens, Mr. Sinclair suddenly pushes you against the house and drinks you in. Oh, Belle, I can hardly stand to keep my composure around you. Ernest. Then let your composure go. Mr. Sinclair leans in, his lips inches away. Bella. But before he can kiss you, a familiar voice approaches. Really? I thought this was supposed to be a diamond choice. Hurry up! I thought we could go for a walk before the bride's grand entrance. Your eyes widen, and you breathlessly whisper to Mr. Sinclair. Who is she with? I don't know, but we shouldn't stay here to find out. Without hesitation, Mr. Sinclair takes your hand and leads you to the Edgewater Lake. When you arrive at the lake, you release a sigh of relief. Finally, alone at last, although I'm still curious who Miss Holloway was with. I could care less. You are the only person I can think of. Well, then perhaps you should continue where you left off. Mr. Sinclair flashes a coy smile. He moves closer and closer, lips inches away, until... In the cover of darkness, the ducks from the lake grow restless, their wings beating the water surface. Mr. Sinclair shakes his head at them. They're trying to ruin a perfect intimate opportunity with my wife. perhaps they are attempting to tell us something. I bet they want to say, congratulations on the wedding. In that case, a kiss will be the perfect form to show that. He cups your cheek, moving towards your lips again, now only a breath away, but suddenly you hear a noise coming from down the path. Quick, over there! You, Mr. Sinclair, flee behind a tree as Viscount Harry and Miss Sutton rapidly approach. The ducks should be just around here. They are the cutest little creatures. Mr. Mulcaster never took me out here. You are, well, I want to show you my favorite places around Edgewater, Teresa. You peer around the tree to see Miss Sutton huddled close to Viscount Harry. You glance back at Mr. Sinclair, mutter under your breath. It seems everyone is out tonight. I just want to be alone with you, Ernest. I have one more place to mind, somewhere I discovered rather recently, and no one will find us there. Follow me. You take Mr. Sinclair's hand as you move silently through the Edgewater forest. The two of you travel quickly and quietly down an overgrown path until you reach a large clearing. You stand on the top of a large hill overlooking a lake. You close your eyes and finally embrace the quiet. Literally, I have seen this in 2 movies, several pictures, alone, finally. I'll give you a hint. Freedom! Just giving you a hint. I don't think anyone would ever think to look here. I'll give you another one. There can only be one. That must be why I feel invincible atop this hill. And drink! So much that I could scream at the top of my lungs, skip around in circles, bask in the moonlight. Raise your head and close your eyes as the moonlight lights your face. It's so peaceful out here. Nothing but you, me, and the moon. Your eyes lock with Mr. Sinclair's. You pause as your breath quickens. Mr. Sinclair slides his hand around the base of your neck as you give in to the pull between you. He pauses right before your lips meet and whispers, his breath warm against your skin. Bella. My Bella. The distance closes, his lips barely brush your own, but suddenly you lose your footing. This entire thing is stupid. Ah! You go rolling down the largest hill faster and faster. With utter delight, with utter helplessness, and sheer terror, with fuming outrage. Why not? You're rolling down a giant hill, why not? You begin to laugh as your world spins around and around. Join me, Ernest, because why not? Mr. Sinclair throws himself to the mercy of the hill. He tumbles after you, gaining speed towards you. I'm coming! The world finally comes to a stop. You sprawl out at the bottom of the hill, feeling the soft grass envelop you as you look up at the pale of moonlight. That entire white wedding dress is now ruined, I'm just saying. Moments later, Mr. Sinclair stops, stumbling nearby. He sees you and cries out, Bella! He's fine, he's green, to begin with. He crawls over to you, his head hovering above your own. I'm glad you were able to make an appearance. For you, I would brave 1,000 hills, and I am simply glad you are unharmed. What about that invincibility? With you around, I remain quite invincible. Gazes deeply in your eyes, watching every flicker of emotion across your face. I want to be certain. Are you alright? You're here. Nothing can pain me. But now, I want to finally kiss you. Without a moment's hesitation, you roll on top of Mr. Sinclair and kiss him ardently. Bella. Oh, Bella. Immediately, his arms surround you, pulling you tight against his body. His tongue parts your mouth open and then swirls around, exploring every far reach. You pepper a fiery trail of kisses along his jawline, then down his neck, nipping at his exposed skin. Mr. Sinclair writhes in pleasure as your lips explore his body. His fingers press into your back, desperately holding on to you. Oh. In the blink of an eye, Mr. Sinclair flips you onto your back, flashing a mischievous smile in front of you. My turn. He tugs at the hem of your skirt, then lifts it up, Exposing your legs, his lips graze your now vulnerable skin. Up and up his kisses go, every nimble move sends shivers down your spine as you moan into the cool night. Ernest. As if on command, Mr. Sinclair's lips find yours again. You lock your legs again round him to hold him in place as each kiss sends a crashing wave of pleasure through your body. Kisses you again and again, your bodies intertwine as close as possible, only thin layers of fabric keeping you apart. Cling to his clothes as his hips roll against yours. Your lips find each other with growing intensity until all you see and feel is him. When your breathing grows heavy, you finally break apart. You feel the rise and fall of Mr. Sinclair's body as he catches his breath. I would say I minded the interruptions earlier, but if it led to that, I cannot say it was any truth. Neither could I. Oh, how I could kiss you again. Drop a kiss against his neck. And again. You kiss his jawline. And he kisses you suddenly and fervently. His hand cradles your neck as his tongue runs along your bottom lip. And again. Break into a fit of laughter and hold him tighter. As much as I want to continue, we should return to Edgewater before people really do wonder what happened to us. I suppose Briar's excuse can keep the wolves at bay for only so long. You and Mr. Sinclair brush the loose pieces of grass off each other and then journey back to Edgewater together. When you arrive, you crack open the door and catch a glimpse of Briar speaking to Queen Charlotte. I don't understand. Where are Countess Bella and Mr. Sinclair? She wanted you to have the first grand entrance, Your Majesty. Countess Bella will be here momentarily. She needed to, adjust her corset. I see. Very well, then. I shan't keep the guests waiting. Queen Charlotte enters the ballroom. You and Mr. Sinclair enter the foyer, and Briar breathes a sigh of relief. Thank the heavens. I don't know how much longer I could have avoided suspicion. I appreciate your efforts, even if you had to lie to the Queen for it. You and Mr. Sinclair line up at the ballroom doors, waiting for your announced entrance. Are you ready? I hope so. Wait, your hair, my lady. Briar removes a piece of grass from your hair and then looks at you peculiarly. Do I want to know? Do you? Yes. Are you gonna know? No. It's probably best if you didn't. At least you didn't damage your dress in the midst of your activities. What, didn't you see these grass stains? Just then, the doors to the ballroom swings open, and you hear Mr. Woods announcing you to the guests. Introducing Countess Bella Sinclair of Edgewater and her husband, Mr. Ernest Sinclair of Ledford Park. Applause from your guests greets you inside the ballroom. Your eyes sweep across the decorations. The level of detail is astounding. I can scarcely believe the vision before my eyes. Dowager Countess and Miss Dally did an excellent job. Smell the wildflowers in one of the nearby vases, and the sweet scent filling your nose. Countess Bella, I am astonished as to how much work you put into this wedding. I did it for you. Every flower, curtain, candle here was handpicked to reflect your refinement and charisma. With how beautiful they are, I would have sworn they were chosen with you in mind instead. Regardless, it looks precisely how I envisioned. Simply marvelous. Walk around the room and greet your well-wishers, who cry out compliments as you pass. I couldn't stop crying. Perhaps my own daughter will have as lovely of a ceremony one day. It was a beautiful ceremony. You pause and turn to Miss Holloway. Do my ears deceive me, or did you just pass along a compliment? Even I cannot deny the refinement of the draperies, or the sweet-smelling flowers used in your ceremony in here. I can't believe you uttered a compliment and didn't burst into flames. You're right, that was difficult. How could you not feature me more in today's festivities? It's as if you didn't know who I am. Who are you again? Ah, there's Miss Holloway I know, and I thought we lost you. Pugsley sniffs curiously around Miss Holloway's skirts. She nudges him away. Bambi cautiously approaches behind him. Your dog might look dapper, but he's invading my personal boundaries, as is your wild deer. Bambi, Pugsley, I don't think there's anything... Oh! There. A small dog peers out of Miss Holloway, behind from Miss Holloway. You raise your brow at her. What? You're allowed to bring your animals everywhere, but I can't bring Aphrodite here? Aphrodite trots over to Pugsley and then licks his face. Oh! They will now have babies. That's how this works, kids. Once you lick, there's no going back. Looks like you have an admirer, Pugsley. It must be your suit. Fitting her name is Aphrodite. Bambi sniffs the new dog, then licks her as well. Well, this just got interesting. Perhaps Miss Holloway can bring her dog over more often. I'm sure you'll rather be fond of each other. Oh no, that is not happening between our dogs. I thought I'd see you less, not more. Careful, Miss Holloway. We might soon be related. Just then, Mr. Woods raises his voice over the ballroom, and causing your guests to fall silent. Now, Countess Bella and Mr. Sinclair will honor us with the first dance. Like your hair. The only thing I like about you. I don't really know you. Mr. Sinclair escorts you to the dance floor. Guests create a wide circle around the two of you as the music begins to play. It's my parents' song. In the corner of your eye, you see Madame LeMay wipe a tear from her eye. All eyes are on us. Then we shan't disappoint. Curtsy to Mr. Sinclair. As he returns your bow, you reach forward and take his hand as you begin to dance. The two of you start with a minute step, and you recall your parents' dance in your head. Right step, then feet together. You are simply unnatural at this, my lady. I think it's because of your guidance, rather than my inherent ability, sir. As Sinclair lifts your arms for you to pass through. Go under his arm as he lifted them. You gracefully move under his arm and then glide through the next steps with ease. As I stated before, natural talent. I prefer to think we are united in many ways, including dancing. As you move through the motions, your hands press together, then sending you flying apart, you glide across the floor to meet Mr. Sinclair. Once more, your parents would be elated to know the woman you have become, Bella. Do you truly think so? I know so. As you look across the floor, you can imagine your parents dancing beside you. You are quite the nimble dancer, my lord. How else would I impress you if not for my quick feet, Miss Mary? Twirl after twirl, step after step, the two of you move in perfect unison. You hear some guests' admiration as you pass. Oh, they look like they're twirling on clouds. How does one hurl a shroud? Musicians pluck the final few chords of the string as the music winds down. Shall we end as we practiced? I wouldn't have it any other way. You fall back into Mr. Sinclair's arms as he dips you. Your guests immediately break into a lively round of applause. You impressed your guests with your first dance. I think they liked it. The applause continues as you curtsy to Mr. Sinclair, and the final note fades away. Oh, it's like seeing Miss Mary once more. Thank you for such a lovely dance, Mr. Sinclair. It will be one the others will surely recall. As then a jauntier song begins, guests rush on the dance floor, but you step aside from Mr. Sinclair and find Friar across the room. What a spectacular show to you both. I am happy I did not trip over Mr. Sinclair's feet. Oh, that would have been quite memorable. Not in a good way, but I think Mr. Sinclair, there you are. I declare I shall have the next dance with you. Miss Dally, I am certain there are better partners suited to... Who could be better than the groom himself? I won't hear another word of protest. Come. Miss Dally, please, dance until his feet can't anymore. You have my word that I shall have him dance every reel and cotillion possible. Miss Dally pulls Mr. Sinclair away to dance, leaving you alone with Briar. Hopefully Mr. Sinclair won't be too exhausted for tonight's activities. Briar. The two of you break into a fit of giggles. You catch your breath and take in the entire ballroom. Briar smiles and leans her head against your shoulder. To think, only a few months ago, this was beyond our wildest dreams. But here you are, Countess Fetchwater, and married. You are a proper and honest lady now. You know, I could have never done it without you. You certainly couldn't have. Try being humble, sweet mother of... How else would you have become better acquainted with Mr. Sinclair if I had never covered for you? Or what about all your various ensembles? Or what about the time I rushed back to Edgewater to say, yes, we get it, be humble. What I mean is to thank you, Briar, for everything. No matter what the situation we're in, you've remained beside me. And there I shall always remain, along with Mr. Sinclair. Pardon me. You look up and see Mr. Marcaster approaching the two of you. Firstly, congratulations are in order, Countess Bella. I appreciate your kindness, sir, but I have a feeling there is another matter on your mind. I, wondered if Miss Dally, would do me the honor of the next dance. Truly, I suppose, if this is all right with Countess Bella. Why do you need my goddamn permission, seriously? The decision is yours. Don't let the married woman hold you back. Briar takes Mr. Marcaster's outstretched arm and glides on the dance floor, leaving you to take note of the various parties mingling about. And I'm sure we're going to be doing here in just a minute. God help me. Miss Parsons and her family gather around Miss Sutton on the piano fort, while the Dowager Countess speaks with Miss Dally and Bishop Munroe on the opposite side. Everything turned out magnificently. I expected nothing less. We were behind many of the decisions. I'll come over there and smack the crap out of you, Grandma. Your eyes continue to wander across the room. Prince Mead talks merrily with his mother and Sir Luke on the balcony, while Viscount Westonleigh and his wife corner Mr. Sinclair. Then you notice Countess Henrietta standing alone, carefully observing the entire party.
I'll get you all, my pretties.
Who to wander to first? Miss Parsons looks really happy. Ugh. Hello? Oh. Yes. Let's get this one out of the way. I have to rub it in your face. You saunter over to Countess Henrietta, who stands alone in the far corner of the room. She eyes you warily as you approach.
What do you want? Can you not leave me alone to wallow? You're the last person I want to see.
I just want to say... I win everything. I have it all. Edgewater, a respectable marriage, a royal friendship. And what do you have? Oh, that's right. None of it. You sided with Comte Renard instead.
Oh, please. I recognized him as Sir Gideon from the start. I only supported him because he was against you. My son could have inherited Edgewater, but alas, he had other things in his mind.
At least you are consistent. A snake to the bitter core.
Just leave me alone. I've had enough faking pleasantries with you to last a lifetime.
Countess Henrietta turns her attention to the rest of the party, and you wander off to mingle with the other guests. It's called karma. This is what you get for being a snake in the grass with other snakes. And when someone comes along and they burn down the entire little area you're in and you fry your ass... Compose yourself, Locum. I know you want to just... say it, but you can't, okay? This is just for those of you listening who were part of the snakes. Get wrecked. Miss Parsons and her family. Evil people never win out. As you approach Miss Sutton playing the piano forward, you see Mr. Parsons pleading with Miss Parsons. Please, my child, consider Viscount Harry. If not for yourself or me, then yours are sisters. Why should this affect them? Think of how society will frown upon them if they marry with unwed older sister. That's a preposterous notion. Countess Bella is right. My own happiness and decisions should not dictate the future happiness of my sisters. Father, Annabelle does not and should not need to worry to marry because of us. Let her be her own woman. That is all she has ever asked of you. Mr. Parsons, could you not be happy and supportive of your own daughter? It is an unending circle attempting to convince you at this point. Viscount Harry fancies someone else. It's an unending circle. How many times have we had this same conversation, and yet you cannot seem to fathom a word of what she says? Mr. Parsons looks at you, taken aback by your words. Miss Parsons takes her father's hand, looking at him with pleading eyes. You do not wish to marry, truly? I like the term old maid for me. It means I can be successful as a single woman, but you must give me the chance. Look at her dress if you don't believe her. She designed this and 3 other wedding ensembles herself. She is a very accomplished woman, and she's done that without a husband. I don't know that I understand entirely, but I'll give you a chance. I just don't know. I just know that I don't want to lose you as a daughter. Thank you, Father. All I ever wanted is for you to understand. Well, it seems like you finally have come to that. Does this mean Viscount Harry is single, and Miss Parsons will not compete for his hand? Yes, you may go for it. That does seem to be the... How fantastic! I mean, I must talk to Viscount Harry later. Miss Sutton's cheeks glow red as she returns to the piano forward. I should see to my other guests, but Miss Parsons, I had a special gift for you. You did. That wasn't necessary at all. Think of it as a thank you for your help with my wedding. You retrieve the fan from your reticle and hand it to Miss Parsons. Oh my, that's fantastic. Countess Bella, absolutely stunning. I wanted to give you something fancy to wield so that all might see the power of our friendship. Do you have one for me? For me? Like, Annabelle will simply be the envy of the party now? That's because I have known the Countess when she was just Miss Hartford. Miss Parsons wields the fan in her hands, beaming as nearby guests come to admire her new gift. Let's just get you out of the way, Grandma. God, I hope this book is coming to an end. Junior the Downless Countess, since Miss Dally, you overhear Bishop Munroe's praises. Simply the best compared to other weddings this season. My lady grandmother and Miss Dally are the ones to be commended on it. Everything turned out better than I dreamed. My dear, I hope you agree that we managed to embody your words and love conquers all obstacles. Grandma, shut up. Indeed, true love is the victor of the day. Your ensemble came together splendidly. I wonder if future brides will try to imitate your look. I doubt they will be as successful without you to aid them. Bishop Munroe looks around at all the decorations and nods to himself. I do think the ballroom looks like quite elegant. I have not been to many weddings, but no reception has looked so dashing before. And it's quite the praise coming from you, Bishop Munroe. I would expect nothing less. If we were less than perfect, then we failed. In that case, I think we have achieved our objective. Regardless, I cannot express my joy to have had a hand in bringing your love story with Mr. Sinclair to fruition. You have been a friend of my family for so long. Getting married without you would have felt wrong. Oh, but there was something I was been meaning to ask. Why hide the truth about Viscount Harry's death? Did you enjoy marrying people so dearly? This one's a good one. I actually want to think about this. Okay, so we know why he hid the truth about Viscount Harry's death. That was for the crown. So I'm gonna go with, why do you enjoy marrying people so dearly?
Can you blame me? One of the greatest joys I can assist with is the uniting of two souls in holy matrimony. My favorite weddings are when they are true of love, like with you and Mr. Sinclair.
Well, I suppose weddings are fun to attend. I can see why you like them so much. Countess Bella, I must commend you. You play the part of hostess quite well.
Yes, but now that we have been seen too, should you not be talking to your other guests?
Shut up, Grandma. Very well, Lady Grandmother. I can see when I'm being ushered away. It's Ameen, Sir Luke and Madame Raisa, or Sir... save the best for last. You exit on the balcony to find Prince Ameen excitedly speaking with Madame Raisa and Sir Luke.
Countess Bella, your timing is impeccable. I have the greatest news to share.
Is it regarding how entirely regal you look tonight?
No, but you speak with truth. I cannot get over how well Miss Parsons designed this ensemble.
Perhaps you can tell us now, Hamid. My son has refused to say a word about it until you arrived.
At least I can sate everyone's curiosity, Prince Ameen, please. Do not keep us all waiting any longer.
I just purchased a new estate nearby. It needs some repairs, but it is officially mine.
An entire estate? I suppose you will no longer need to stay at Edgewater. That's Ameen. That is splendid news. How many repairs does it require? I've said you'd no longer be a guest at Edgewater. I'm sad.
As am I, but I will intrude upon your hospitality no longer. A little longer until my estate's repairs are finished.
You are always welcomed guest at Edgewater. Zabid cautiously looks at his mother, who returns a gaze with a pensive stare.
Umi, what do you think of the purchase?
I think it's a brilliant idea. You have surely found your place, but you've best have room for me and your sisters to visit.
Of course, of course. When it is finished, there will be room for the entire family, 3 times over.
If you need help fixing up the estate, you might consider my brother. He has had prior building experience. In fact, I'm considering an arrangement to help with locums locos in exchange for lodgings. That's quite a proposition. Are you not worried that his past mistakes might come back, though? I am willing to give him a chance. I can see he is trying his best, and I wouldn't be the man I am and my mother raised if I didn't try to mend our relationship.
If you recommend him, I'll be sure to call upon him when the time arises.
I should see to my other guests before I go. I have gifts for you both. Think of them as a thank you for our friendship. You did not need to get me a single thing. But before Sir Luke can utter another word, you retrieve his gift from your reticle. I wanted to give you something befitting of your knighthood. Oh my, this is the best gift anyone could have given me. I will be sure to use this crest everywhere I go. Can at Locums Locos.
You have me on the tip of my toes, Countess Bella. What did you get?
You pull out the spyglass and hand it to Prince Mead. It's your very own spyglass, so that you may never be lost on a single adventure.
How ornate! The detailing is exquisite. Wonder if I could see Edgewater from my new estate with this.
Stop spying on me and Mr. Sinclair. You start to return to the ballroom, but notice Sir Luke watching Miss Cordelia longingly through the open doors.
Will you just fucking do it already? An entire book of this crap.
Miss Cordelia catches him staring, but Sir Luke looks away immediately. Sir Luke, come with me now. Tug Sir Luke's sleeve and pull him aside. I saw that glance, with Miss Cordelia. I bet you fancy her already. It looks like you have an admirer. Admit you fancy her already. I have watched you catching glances at each other for months now. I don't know what you could possibly be referring to. Do not think me a fool, Sir Luke. Alright, I admit it. I find Miss Cordelia quite delightful. In fact, I think I might be in love. I don't know your feelings were so strong. I have spent a lot of time with her over the past few months, and I have a strong inkling of her feelings, but I can't say for sure. You should tell her your feelings right away. Miss Cordelia couldn't possibly refuse you in that handsome suit, but you have to tell her. I couldn't possibly. What would I say, not to mention how many people are around? I would like nothing more than to tell her how I feel, but it's not so simple. Not when her family is around. His eyes suddenly widen. What if you help me for diamonds? How could I possibly aid you here? I don't think I should be the one to tell her. No, but you can help distract her family for me. I don't care how, but if I only had a few minutes, I could take her to Edgewater Gardens and confess my love. It would be the perfect romantic spot. I'm sure I could come up with something. Please, Countess Bella, this may be the only chance. I need to tell her before it's too late. Play Sir Luke and proclaim his love for Miss Cordelia while you distract the Parsons. Help Sir Luke profess his love. Alright, I'll do it. Thank you, my lady. 1,000, nay, 1,000,000 thanks. Don't thank me yet. Just follow my lead. When everyone is thoroughly distracted, steal Miss Cordelia away. Sir Luke accompanies you inside. You approach Miss Cordelia and her family gathered around Miss Sutton at the piano forte. Miss Cordelia eyes find Sir Luke's as he sidles up to her. Miss Sutton, your playing is quite practiced. Thank you. I have wanted to play this for so many balls now.
It is decent, but I wonder if there's room for improvement. Perhaps Annabelle can...
Father! Countess Bella, do we owe the pleasure of your company? Well, I had a certain request to make. Miss Sutton, what are your intentions with Viscount Harry? Miss Constance, I have to challenge you to a duel of pianoforte. Mr. Parsons, where's your wife? You and the rest of your family are here, but Miss Parsons is not.
I will have you know my wife is indisposed at such a... She does not attend social functions.
I cannot say I am fully convinced, or is she truly real?
Of course she is. Miss Parsons suffers from hysterics when she attends family events because of such a...
A eyes turn towards Mr. Parsons as he continues the story. You give a subtle nod to Sir Luke. Sir Luke whispers to Miss Cordelia's ear, and then the two of them disappear through the balcony doors, evading everyone's notice. Now playing as Sir Luke, you lead Miss Cordelia to the Edgewater Gardens hand in hand. She giggles as you maneuver through the statues. Where are we going, Sir Luke? This is rather forward of you. Is it? I just wanted to... You turn around and see Miss Cordelia fully in the moonlight. Your breath quickens as you take her in. You were saying? What I wanted to say, Sir Luke, you know you can tell me anything else. Sir Luke is cutely like me. She squeezes your hand gently, her thumb pressing into your palm. You take a deep breath. Miss Cordelia, can you not see how my heart yearns for you? Place your hand over your heart, which flutters beneath your touch. Feel how my heart beats for you, no one else. Sir Luke, what are you saying? I love you. I love you as much as a man can love a woman, and now all I can think of is you. I confess, I don't know what to say. Say what is in your heart, and know that mine belongs to you. But I cannot stand to wait in suspense any longer. Try not to crush his heart. Or I'll crush yours. Oh, Sir Luke. Miss Cordelia runs her fingers against your cheek. She lifts your face to look upon you. I, too, have come to care for you. It started when you worked at Hazelvale Manor for that brief time. I did not realize you felt that way then. Why else do you think I snuck into the stables to visit you so often? And then, when you told me your fondness of me, I began to realize how true my feelings were. Now I know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that I truly and deeply love you. Oh, Miss Cordelia. How my heart leaps for joy at those words. I'm so happy I could... Suddenly you lift Miss Cordelia up and spin her around. Her laughter rings clearly through the garden. I know precisely how you feel. We must mark this momentous occasion somehow. You look around the gardens for a gift to offer. Your lucky coin, a bouquet of wild flowers, a wooden ring. Wooden ring. You pluck a few twigs, then bind them together to form a ring. You slip it onto her right hand. I know it isn't much, but perhaps you might wear it and always think of me. The small ring holds my hopes and intentions for our futures together. Thank you. I shall treasure it always. Know that my feelings are as real and as true as they can be, Miss Cordelia. Please, just call me Cordelia. You're Cordelia. And call me Luke. You touch your foreheads to hers, smiling from ear to ear. I should kiss her lips. Cordelia. My Cordelia. Your lips brush against hers, her hands slink around your neck, pulling you tight against her body. Luke. Your tongue parts her mouth open as you kiss her over and over again, until you lose some sense of everything except Miss Cordelia in your arms. Yay, finally. Now playing as Belle. As Mr. Parsons continues the story, you notice Sir Luke and Miss Cordelia return to the group without arousing suspicion.
It isn't difficult to understand if you listen. Miss Parsons simply does not enjoy...
Yes, how enthralling. I'm afraid I must go see my other guest, though. Bye! You follow. You motion for Sir Luke to follow you across the room. I pray you fared well, sir. You were outside for a long time. Quite well, my lady. Yes, quite well. Make your way over to Mr. Sinclair's. Viscount Westonleigh and Viscountess Lavinia corner him.
What a wonderful ceremony. Countess Bella should be commended for her part.
Yes, Countess Bella is a wonderful sweetheart, though no one could compare to you, husband. I don't think that is what he meant at all, my lady. Perhaps I may provide you with some a suitable distraction, sir. Though I would imagine your new ensemble would be enough of a distraction. Oh, you would think so, but I don't think it would help evade this conversation. Poor Mr. Sinclair, in need of Countess Edgewater's assistance. Thank you, only you can end my suffering. I would be neglecting my duties as your wife if I did not.
You take that back, my wife does not rot.
No, she said that my hair is a lovely knot.
Anyway, I wanted to inform you, my lady, that I have dispatched a letter to Rosalind's real family.
I have also written to Percival and his governess to come to Edgewater. They should know the truth.
I agree. I'm hoping that Percival's family will let him be part of my life and visit. I already know which room in Ledford Park would be his.
Mr. Sinclair. You should seek to adopt Percival instead.
I can't believe you would suggest such a thing.
You're the closest thing to a real father figure that Percival has had in who knows how long. I know how much you care for the boy. It's only right that he has a father who loves him.
And you would be alright if he lived with us?
Entirely. I would love to be his mother in name, if not by blood.
You've given me much to ponder, but I will take your words to heart.
Sinclair looks around the festivities and smiles. Is everything you imagined it would be?
No. It's more. I'm trying to remember every single detail so I may write in my journal later.
I am honored it'll be the first of many entries to grace its pages.
Perhaps I shall follow it with the information on Percival.
Mr. Sinclair, did you say Percival or Festival?
Merciful what?
No, I said Percival.
You only needed to say it was personal.
Ah, it's no use, Mr. Sinclair. I don't think he will be able to hear a thing you say. In that case, how, do, Viscount Westonleigh?
I am doing splendidly, although today it also makes 10 years since my former wife passed. Have I ever told you that she was...
Viscount Westonleigh begins to drone on. You laugh and leave Mr. Sinclair captive with Viscount Westonleigh's story. As you finish up with your final conversations, several servants under the watchful eye of Mr. Danforth carry out your wedding cake. You hurry over with Mr. Sinclair right behind you. My lady, may I present your wedding cake? Ah, admire. The flowers are fantastic. It pairs well with the rest of the ballroom. Not to mention it smells very fresh. You notice your guests nodding around you in approval. But it looks so modern. Is that really a wedding cake? Oh, I must want one of those whenever I get married. If I ever get married. You and Mr. Sinclair cut the cake and retrieve a slice. Slice of the wedding cake. Take a bite. Take a bite of the cake, savoring the taste in your mouth. The cinnamon and chocolate remains the supreme blend of flavors. Mr. Sinclair eyes a slice of cake, scooping up a first forkful. I should take another bite. Give Mr. Sinclair a bite. Smash the slice in his face. Some of us don't waste food. You take Mr. Sinclair's fork from his hand and feed him the bite of cake. Well, that turned out quite delectable indeed. I knew Mr. Danforth would outdo himself today, and he has not disappointed. As the servants begin to dole out the cake, you overhear several of your guests comment on it.
I suppose it's tolerable to partake.
Tolerable? I find it rather tasteful. It's chocolate. Wait, cinnamon. No, both! After you finish eating, Mr. Chambers motions for you and Mr. Sinclair to join him in the far corner of the room
to let you know it's been poisoned.
Just kidding. Wouldn't you just freak out? You follow him to where Mr. Knievi awaits you. Wait, what is this about, Mr. Chambers? Is something amiss? Not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact. We are both enjoying the festivities so much that we wanted to share in the happiness tonight. I'm afraid I don't quite follow. Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi share a look. We are planning to have our own wedding tonight. In secret, of course. This wedding tonight? I'm glad you can partake in the happiness of days. I think I speak for both of us when I say I'm glad you approve. We did not want to take away your festivities, but it is not often that people we care about in them is in the same place. I understand and feel nothing but utter joy for you both. I'm happy for you both. Today truly is a day to remember for all. Countess Bella, you have been so instrumental in our journey of love. We both wondered if you might officiate our ceremony. Me? I think it's a splendid idea. No one else is better suited for the task. It would simply make my heart soar if you agreed, my lady. It'd be a quiet affair in the woods nearby, but your attendance would make the world of a difference. I'm sure no one would notice our brief absence either. They all seem rather distracted eating their wedding cake. Officiate and attend Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi's secret wedding with Mr. Sinclair in this exclusive scene. Wonder how many people are going to be like, why are they having a secret wedding? Yeah, do you want me to explain that to you, or could we just move on? I would absolutely be overjoyed to officiate your ceremony. And then we should take our leave now, while everyone else finishes their cakes. You, Mr. Sinclair, follow Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi onto the balcony and to the woods. When you arrive, you notice the moonlight filtering in through the tree canopy, dim lighting and the clearing, and you stand near the back, taking your surroundings. What a perfect place for a clandestine wedding. You head to the front of the gathering, passing Briar, your friends, Mr. Sinclair, and then finally Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi at the front. Miss Parsons stands beside Mr. Chambers, while Prince Ameen stands as pretty much half the party is here, seriously. I will admit I did not have time to prepare anything for a wedding. That is completely alright. Just speak from the heart. We must have attended enough weddings this year that you might recall some of the wording from memory. You laugh and then clear your throat to call everyone to attention. We come together to celebrate the union of Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi. Let us remember we gather in the name of marriage. It is a wedding, after all, and after this, Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi shall be bound as close as two souls can possibly be. Your eyes flit to Mr. Sinclair, giving you a knowing look. Mr. Knievi, I invite you to share a few words about Mr. Chambers. Mr. Knievi takes a deep breath and then grips Mr. Chambers' hands and looks deep into his eyes. I first saw you at Mr. Sinclair's annual London dinner. I was but a stranger, and yet immediately I knew we were meant to be. You are my life, my love, my entire world. Ruhi, my soul. I vow to look at you like I did that first night, now and forever. As Mr. Knievi finishes his vows, Mr. Chambers wipes a tear from his eye. You hear Briar sniffling in the audience as she whispers to Sir Luke next to her. It's just so beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Knievi. Mr. Chambers, would you care to share a few words as well? Mr. Chambers nods and brushes away his final tears. He nervously glances down at his boots before finding Mr. Knievi's face once more. Mr. Knievi, when we met, I was in such a dark place. Heartbroken, lost, and I never thought I'd find the light. But then I saw those piercing eyes, heard that enticing voice, and instantly I was revived. I vow to turn to you in times of darkness, to love you with all my heart, to listen to your counsel, and to give all myself to you each day. Thank you for both sharing such heartfelt words before us all today. You look around the clearing, making eye contact with every person there. If anyone can show just cause why these people may not be joined together, I will silence you into peace. I ask you to speak now or hold your peace hereafter. My eye is itching. Your eyes sweep the attendees, but you're met with complete silence. I don't think anyone would dare object to this union. If they do, I will silence them into peace. Brilliant. We can move along with the ceremony. Mr. Yusuf Knievi, will you take this man to be thy wedded husband in matrimony? Will you love and honor him in sickness and health, and forsaking all others so long as you both shall live? I will. And will you, Mr. Bartholomew Chambers, have this man to be... Yes, I will. Nod to Miss Parsons, who hands you a ribbon from her reticule. You wrap it around the couple's hands, binding them together. With this ribbon, you are now hand-fasted for life. May it symbolize how you are bound together in this world and the afterlife. I charge you both to show everyone your love whenever possible. Make sure the others laugh at least once daily. Resolve each argument before going to bed. Show everyone your love whenever possible. While your show of affection may be small, those little moments are what make love and life worth it all. In lieu of rings, I tie your souls together, but you must commit the words to each other. Mr. Chambers and Mr. Knievi clasp hands and speak the words to the other in perfect unison. With this ribbon, I thee wed. With my body, I worship, and with all worldly goods. I thee endow now, and forever. You remove the ribbon from their hands and face the guests. As Countess of Edgewater, I declare you husband and husband. Mr. Chambers immediately sweeps Mr. Knievi up into a tender kiss as everyone applauds the two of them. To the happy couple. You belong together. Why can't I stop crying? Congratulations, you deserve all this and more. Make your way back to the reception, but Mr. Chambers and Mr. Kniebe pull you aside just before you reach the manor. Before we go in, we just want to express our gratitude. Yes, we are ever so grateful to have your support officially, especially on this day like today. It was my absolute pleasure to officiate your wedding. I would be a horrible friend if I refused. Now understand why Bishop Munroe loves officiating. I would be a horrible friend. From the moment you asked me, I knew no one else would be more perfect for the position. You are the highest power of authority here. Excepting for the Queen and Prince Regent, of course. You pause at the doors inside, glance back to Mr. Chambers and Mr. Kniebe alone on the balcony. Are you two coming? Go ahead without us. I want to spend a moment longer with my husband. Smile at the two of them, basking in the moonlight before you disappear inside to rejoin the reception. As you mill about the ballroom, you come across Queen Charlotte and Prince Regent engrossed in a conversation with Miss Holloway and Viscount Harry. There are quite a few fine young ladies in attendance. Is that so, Your Royal Highness? The Prince Regent's gaze sweeps across Miss Holloway until he notices you standing nearby. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a bride so radiant before. Is it so, Your Majesty? The details to your dress, the crown jewels, the tiara, veil, even your hair, you look like a princess. Thank you. But Miss Holloway is the one interested, not I. If you cannot tell, she seems rather eager to please you, Your Royal Highness. Ah, but I'm more interested in you, Countess Bella. Prince George, perhaps you might take your eyes off the newlywed countess so I might commend the festivities properly. Queen Charlotte's eyes flit to the jewels around your neck and on your ears. It makes my spirit soar to see those crown jewels. There has never been a better home than where they reside now. Well, thank you, Your Majesty, though we did have a few matters to discuss with both regarding Comte de Regard. Barring new evidence, I don't think I don't know what more there is to discuss. Please listen to Countess Bella. We have no information to support her words from before. You mean to tell me that you now support Countess Bella? I do. You notice that Comte Renard is not present today. He truly is Sir Gideon Payne, and is returning to exile in France as we speak. Or so you hope. Perhaps there's more to discuss after all. Very well, but after the festivities. Right now, we must have a toast. It is truly a wedding until the couple gives a speech, and followed by me, of course. Where you know the Prince Regent taps his glass to call everyone to attention, Mr. Sclair finds you as your guests fall silent, form a large circle around you. Oh, good evening all. My husband and I have a few words we would like to share. We would like to keep this brief, but we would like to show our appreciation for celebrating our wedding with us today. If you will, let us take a moment to raise our glasses for our toast. Let us toast as we celebrate this joyous union, defeating our foes. Me, Joyous Union. May it be prosperous and full of love now and forever. Meet Mr. Sinclair's gaze before taking a sip of your drink. Queen Charlotte and the Prince Regent make their way to the center of the room as Queen Charlotte declares loudly to your guests. What a lovely speech. My son and I would like to say a few words. The lovely Countess Bella came from humble beginnings and is a true example of the strength of the British spirit. As the Prince Regent and the Queen continue the speech, you notice a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. You lean over and whisper to Mr. Sinclair and Viscount Harry. Is it my imagination, or did someone just duck behind Viscount Westonleigh? I can't tell. There are too many people in the way. Allow me to get a better view. Viscount Harry moves with the crowd, but as Viscount Westonleigh steps to the side, you see the mysterious figure in full light. Oh, he's here. I knew you wouldn't go away. I was hoping you wouldn't. Oh no, it's Sir Gideon. When Viscount Harry is almost upon him, Sir Gideon suddenly pulls out Mr. Sinclair's family pistol and takes aim at the Prince Regent.
So raise your glass to...
No! Look out!
Bang!
Instead of hitting the Prince Regent, Viscount Harry dies in the way. The bullet pierces his body and he collapses to the ground. Harry! Sir Gideon has shot Viscount Harry at the wedding reception. Can you defeat him before he enacts his plans? And will Viscount Harry survive? This isn't like he walked in with a 9mm. He literally has to reload. Seriously. Most pistols back then only had a couple of shots and they had to stand there like derps and reload. But anyway, without further ado. Oh, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. If you do decide to subscribe, hey, you should hit that bell icon to receive notifications. And please consider hitting the join button on YouTube. And without further ado, to my snakes in the grass comment. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the snakes being roasted over an open fire, and life at least giving me some sort of, like, nod that karma does exist. It does. It's a truly beautiful thing. Without further ado, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye!